Hi, this is Val with Living Divine. If you are new to my channel, welcome. And if you've been here before, welcome back. So I'm finally going to talk about my daughter's hair. She's gotten thousands of views on me locking her hair. I initially locked her hair about 4 months ago. And I've gotten questions and comments as to how her hair is doing. And first of all, her hair is doing amazing. I will insert pictures in the midst of the video, but also she and I do not live in the same city. So we actually did a Zoom call yesterday, and it was clearly I don't know how to work Zoom, so I'm gonna start off with that. But it was actually really cool to do the Zoom call so I can get an update on her hair. I get pictures all the time, but I wanted to get do an update on her hair because so many people have asked me questions, and even though I can see her hair when she and I are together, it's kind of hard to answer the questions. Well, it's easy to answer the questions, but I'm visual, so I wanted to be able to show on a video what her hair is actually looking like. So I'm gonna answer a couple of questions. She and I kind of go back and forth in the Zoom and talk about these questions as well. So you kind of get her response in reference to these questions. One of the things that we did not show, and I'd say about a month into her journey, right after I locked her hair, 3 weeks or a month, something like that, she was experiencing unbelievable amounts of slippage. Now, what I attributed to is her not really understanding the significance or the importance of braiding and banding when you wash. And her hair is so fine, and some of it, especially this top part, is just waves. It's not curls, it's just waves. The back and the sides are curlier. But with her hair, because it's easier to get slippage, because her hair doesn't just really tangle like that, she was experiencing some slippage, and she came back to me. And what we ended up doing, and I'm gonna tell you, she came back in a panic, you guys. It was hilarious until I actually had to fix her hair. That wasn't fun at all. But anyway, she came to me. This hair up top, her hair up top is so thick and so dense. I actually went back in and split those, like the hair that's right here. Let me see in the mirror. Okay, so the hair that's right here, I actually went back and split those in two. So when I first did her hair, she had 450 locks. I'm not sure the number she has right now. I know she has not counted, but if I had to guesstimate based on the work that I put in like a month after that, I would say she has close to 550 locks, because this hair, again, it's so dense and it's so thick, and you'll see even on her pictures, it just kind of stands up because her hair is so thick in that area. It's thick all over, but it's like 3 times as thick just in this little area, which is kind of funny to see, but it's amazing and it's gorgeous and it's all that stuff. I will also have her on this channel as often as possible. One of the reasons she actually got locked, and I spent so much time locking her hair, is that she is pregnant. Yay, I'm a big grandma. I'm gonna be like one of them hot grandmas too. I'm just telling you right now. But I digress. But with this being her first child, she wanted to actually focus on being a new parent and not being a new parent, dealing with her loose natural hair, which she actually loved, honestly. Her loose natural hair was amazing. But she did spend a lot of time on it in reference to detangling and that kind of thing. And if you've been natural for a while, you understand what that looks like. So I agreed to lock her hair, had no idea it would take so long, none. But I agreed to help her with the locking process, which I did. And again, her hair looks great. And she's now admitting that her daily with her locks is easy. They're still struggling with the retie when it's time for a retie, because again, her husband does a reties. It's very time consuming, especially if you're new to doing hair, or you've never done locks and things of that nature. And he's by far not a loctician, but he's doing a great job. So that part she still struggles with, which I get. I struggled with it at the beginning of my lock journey, but I didn't have someone to come in and do it for me. I just had to wear these arms out and do it, after a couple of days to get it done. So that's the stage she's in right now. But I did want to come on and let you guys see her hair, let you see the texture up close. I took the videos in different clips, so I'm going to try to put them all in this video and try not to make this video too long. But I've gotten so many questions about her hair. I thought I would be remiss to not try to answer as many as possible and say that she's still on her journey and she's still loving it. And I think she looks amazing with her locks.
We've gotten thousands of views in reference to my daughter's hair journey, me locking her hair, people asking questions about her hair. And because she and I live in different cities, I decided to do like a Zoom call and actually ask her kind of the 10 questions that I'm usually asked in reference to my hair journey, so she can kind of answer for herself in reference to what's going on with her hair. So I will tell you that I am 4 years locked. She's approximately 4 months locked. So I'm going to ask her questions, we'll do a question and answer. She and I actually got together for Mother's Day and that we did a short video, but I feel like it was not detailed enough. So I want to kind of talk through some of the questions that people are asking me about her hair, that you look at her hair and get an idea of what's going on with her hair. So let me start out by saying that she has approximately, if I had to guess, I'm going to say 550 locks. When I first locked her hair, which was in January, I think, right, Octavia?
Right.
Okay. So when I first locked her hair in January, she had about 450 locks. But what happened is that hair up front, and I talked about in the previous video as well, the hair up front is so dense and so thick that it just looks kind of off, in my opinion. So I went in, and this hair about right here, I ended up splitting. So for every lock she had, I split into 2 locks. So probably from temple to temple, that area I split. So the top of her hair is approximately, let's say 3 months locked. The rest of her hair is approximately 4 months locked. So I'm going to start off by asking questions or asking her some questions, let her answer those questions. I will say also that she and her husband have just started a YouTube channel. She's going to actually put the initial video when I locked her hair and probably this video on her channel. But if you want to follow her journey, because again, she's not in the same city as I am, so we have less time to actually connect. But I got so many questions, I felt remiss in not answering those questions or at least talking to her about it so you can see her journey. Because I know in the beginning of my journey, I want to see people that were in the stage that I was in. It's great seeing the people that were already established, like myself, but I wanted to see the people that are going through the struggles that I went through. So I will start off with, first of all, Octavia, let's talk about just when you locked your hair. What made you make the decision to actually lock your hair?
So I am pregnant, for those of you that do not know. And because I am expecting, I think the attraction to locking my hair came from the flexibility that I hear so often that you have with locked hair versus loose natural hair. So I would say that was the biggest proponent or the biggest motivator for me in making that final decision to go ahead and try locks, was the time that would be saved in between washes, the daily wake up, the daily routine. It was more about time, saving time.
So do you notice any difference between when you had loose natural, and I know you're in the beginning of your locking phase, but do you notice any difference in reference to the time?
Absolutely. I think right now, though, because I'm still at a very early stage, I can't necessarily say which one requires more time than the other. I will say on a day-to-day basis, absolutely, the lock journey has freed me from any time that I would have had with my loose natural hair. The lock journey has freed me from that. And what I mean by that is I've noticed, especially, it's getting progressively easier, where I can just wake up in the morning, take my headscarf off, shake my hair, and then walk out the door and feel confident walking out the door. Or similar, which is a struggle that I've always had with loose natural hair, is working out. It's once I work out with loose natural hair, I'm not coming back to a down style. I'm coming back to a style where my hair is pulled up in some type of cute ponytail. So one thing that I have noticed that has been huge for me as far as working out is the flexibility to be able to work out and know that that's not compromising my hairstyle later. So that's been huge. So as far as that, I've definitely noticed a significant decrease in the time spent on my hair on a day-to-day basis with locks. Now, where it gets tricky for me is the washing process. It's not necessarily longer. I would say at this time it's about the same for me, but the retightening is significant.
Right.
And I don't know if the retightening equates to about the same time I would spend a day on my loose natural if I'm just saving that up for one day a month or however often I retie. So.
Okay. So, and that's kind of what I felt in the beginning. Like the day-to-day was amazing. You get up, you shake, you go. Of course, my hair and your hair did not look the same, so I was looking a little weird, and I think you look gorgeous. But when you save up all the time during the weekday, but you store it up for retie, it might balance out at the beginning. So yours is kind of the natural conversation, especially because you guys do self-retie. You don't go to a professional, correct?
Right, correct.
Okay. So you go a little bit slower as opposed to if you go a professional, from what I've heard, because I've never went to a professional, they can knock it out about 3-4 hours. And that would be amazing as opposed to when you retie it yourself. And you got an interesting story because your husband's doing your retie, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So you guys, her husband who knows nothing about locks.
Right.
Initially. He's learning, but initially he knew other than what most people know, the general information. I kind of talked him through how to retighten her hair. She does 3-point rotation. And he has done an amazing job of retightening her hair to keep it on task to deal with the parts. And especially right now, because of COVID, there are so many locticians that are not taking new clients. And I know she's actively looking because she has not even tried to retighten her hair. And I don't blame her. She's dealing with pregnancy, learning all those new things that come with pregnancy. So doing that in a new hair journey is a little overwhelming to her first child. Tell me, how many days does it take and how many hours does it take for him to actually do your retires?
I would say on average, it's taken about 3 days, maybe 3 to 4 days for him to do my retightening. And I would say that's usually about 6 to 8 hours each day, including breaks.
So it's 6 to 8 hours each day?
Each day, yep.
Yep. So I would tell you, he must love her, right? Because that's a lot of time working doing hair. So I'm going to tell you in reference to my retightening when I first started. And of course, I was doing mine myself and I didn't have to work on the schedule. I had to work around with my schedule. So I didn't have to, I take a break, he take a break, that kind of thing. It usually took me about 3 days initially. And on really fast speed, I do 2 days with, a lot of breaks in between. I don't know how many hours. It seems like a lot of hours for 3 days. If we were doing 6 hours a day, that's a lot. But
it is a lot.
Again, he's new to locks. It is a learning process, and I will tell you, it'll get a lot faster. But this is a guy that hasn't really done a woman's hair, and now he's switched from that to locks. So it was a lot. So I commend him on even doing that. He's doing an amazing job. In reference to future, in reference to getting a loctician, are you looking for a loctician now? I know COVID kind of stopped you in reference to finding a loctician, but are you looking for a loctician now? Because of course we can't always get together. I don't want to. But are you looking for someone to do your hair, or has he committed to continue to try to do it? It gets faster, or what's the plan?
I am 100% committed to looking for a loctician. As much as I love that time that my husband gets to retighten my hair, it's a great bonding experience for us. He takes pride in it. 24 hours is also a long time to sit in a chair and do hair, especially when we had such a massive install time and then a massive, separating of the front section. So my goal is to find a loctician to get that time cut down significantly, and then use my husband just, as needed. If there's an area that I need retightened, or if for whatever reason I'm not able to get to a loctician that month, then use him in those cases. But I think just for our marriage, I think just for my body and the baby that I'm carrying, I think it would just be best to have a professional to kind of come in and do it a lot faster. I mean, my husband is doing a very good job, but as you mentioned, he's learning, and this is a new experience for him, just like it is for me. And, I think that adds to some of the time, beyond the fact that our schedules don't really align. So some of the other factors that add to the time are I'm sleepy, my head might be nodding. He's trying to work around that because he's sweet. Or I might lay down and he's trying to retighten it while I'm laying down. So we are looking for someone that can maintain locally.
Okay. So in reference to washing your hair, are you on a regular washing schedule, or how often are you washing?
I am not on a regular washing schedule. I would say when I first did the install, I was very adamant about washing every single week because I wanted my hair to lock sooner than later. And then, I started to progress more in the pregnancy. I started to become a little more fatigued. Life started happening. I started realizing, my hair still looks cute without washing it this week, which I think, is part of that plus that we talked about earlier. So then I've noticed that my wash days, are a little more spread apart at this point. So I don't have a consistent wash schedule, but I do try to get it a wash in at least every 2 weeks. That's my goal.
Okay. So do you still braid band?
I do still braid and band. And that's part of the reason why I don't wash every week, because I have to braid and band.
It's so much fun, right?
It's not very fun at all.
Okay, so in reference to products, what kind of products do you use in your hair? Or when you wash it, what do you use? Can you tell me a little bit about that?
So right now I'm only using shampoo. If for example, we traveled and I just felt like my hair was a little more, had a little more elements because we traveled different places recently. So I used a clarifying shampoo, which is Paul Mitchell Shampoo 3. Normally I would use either Paul Mitchell Shampoo 2 or a Joico moisturizer shampoo. So I usually fluctuate between the three. If I feel like my scalp really needs a good love, tender love and care, I'll go with Shampoo 3. And, and if I'm consistent on washes and my scalp isn't very irritated, then I'll just do Shampoo 2 and then follow that up with the Joico shampoo.
So in reference to drying time, how long does it take approximately for your hair to dry, or how do you dry it?
So for the most part, I dry it under a hooded dryer or a cap dryer. I think I've only let it air dry maybe one time. Every other time has been a cap dryer. And the drying process actually for me is not very long. It may be possibly because I'm still in the earlier stages, so my locks aren't as thick yet. Maybe air can still get through them pretty well. But I would say it takes maybe an hour, 15 minutes to dry my hair. It doesn't take long at all. Okay. I mean, I think that's not long.
Okay. So do you have any problems that you're aware of with slipping, bunching? Your hair is, I mentioned before, I think it's more of a 3C or A, especially the top of your hair, which you still have some very straight parts. And you have not had a relaxer in how long? How many years? 10?
Oh, I mean, I would say since 2010, maybe, if I had to guess.
Okay. And I will say I cut out all her relaxers. So the hair is straight is just her straight hair. And she's always had that. Her hair is more wavy than curly. And at the top, at this part, is just absolutely wavy. Which, when you look at pictures, and I have some pictures of close-ups of her hair, and I'm gonna ask her to get closer to the camera so everyone can see really her hair, her texture, to get a good look at what that looks like. But this part of her hair is just wavy. It's and it's not there's not a lot of curl pattern here. It's just wavy. There's more curl pattern around her edges. But even that is wavy. It's just a wavy curl, if that makes sense. But the top is definitely a lot more wavy. So I'm sure it's going to take a while for that hair to lock. So sometimes when you look at it, it's like, is it straight? Is it curly? Is it the perm wearing off? It's just her hair texture. So that's why I wanted to kind of talk to her in reference to, like, is she having slipping, bunching, anything of that nature. So I'm sorry, and I just went off on a tangent, but are you having any bunching that you're aware of?
I do believe I am having bunching. When I go through, and let's say if I'm looking in the mirror or feeling my hair, I do feel different locks that feel like a I don't know if you used to call those things back in the day, but it's those toys that you can pull out, and then when you let it go, then they come together, they shrink together, and that's what my lock feels like. Mm-hmm. It feels like I can either pull it out and stretch it out, or if I don't do that, they're bunched, I guess is the best way.
Accordion. It feels like you can
yes.
Pull it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. And that's part of the locking process too. That you'll see that it'll almost look like it's starting to loosen up, but tangle up at the same time, which is what locks do. Locks are tangles ultimately. Right. So it's just being able to do that. What about slippage? Like, are you seeing, I know the last time I saw you, which was on Mother's Day, I did not see any slippage or notice any slippage then. Are you noticing any slippage? Like right after your husband retied your hair, do you notice any slippage around the edges in the middle? Like when he reties it, then all of a sudden the lock is a little bit lower. Are you noticing any of that?
I think at this point, 4 months in, I'm not really noticing slippage as much as I initially was. When I came to you in February, I believe, or maybe right before Valentine's Day, right. I had significant slippage. It was, I felt overwhelmed at the amount of slippage that I had, just because I was not aware that this could possibly happen, that slippage could happen. So I was saying during that time, especially like the first 2-3 months, maybe, I had pretty significant slippage to where we would retighten my hair, and then I would have felt like this much new growth maybe 2-3 weeks later. Right. So I had significant slippage, especially right here in this crown area. I would say now the only slippage I really notice is maybe, around the edges, and it's only like 2 locks up here in the front, and then maybe like another 2 up here. And that's, I just keep rebraiding, split twisting to try to reestablish those areas. But I figure they'll just do their own thing. But that's the only area at this point that I'm noticing slippage.
Right. So I'm going to deviate real quick because we never talked about this. You mentioned it. So I want to talk about the story of her slippage, which was hilarious and a lot of work for me. But right after I installed her hair, not right after, maybe 3 weeks after maybe, she washed her hair. I was telling her about making sure she keeps it separated. Again, her hair is a finer texture than mine, and even mine in the back, I had slippage for, I would say, a year because it's very fine there. So I have some areas where my hair is fine. Her hair all over it's kind of a finer texture. She came to me in a panic, and I think it was pregnancy hormones. It was establishing new locks and new hairstyles. She used to have this big, gorgeous hair. Now she's got these locks, and she had unbelievable amounts of slippage. I mean, it took some work. Like the first time I established her hair, I can't remember the time frame. I want to say it took 4 days, I think, because her hair was so long, and getting it all the way done, and it was just a mess. But to reestablish just with the slippage, it took about 3 days. because she did have some slippage. Her hair was fine. What I personally think happened, and she, I could be wrong because her hair is also very fine, or a lot finer than mine, is that maybe she didn't leave the braiding banding in there long enough, or maybe it was just the texture of her hair. I'm not sure what happened there, but she had some significant slippage about 3 months, not 3 months, 3 weeks into her journey. So I had to go back in and reestablish some of them, not all the way down. I did do some of them all the way down, and that was for this part right here, but that's because I split them two. But in this back area, like some of this back area of hers, it was some work. I'm gonna tell you, this was a labor of love because I would never do it again. Like, you couldn't pay me to do this, pay me to do this again. But I really see her hair progressing and looking beautiful, and it actually looks gorgeous now. Again, my 4 months and her 4 months are not the same, so I can't wait to see what her 1 year is going to look like because it's progressed so much. But I said all that to say, even though she takes these pictures and it looks great, that for a little while she had a struggle, and it was a crisis moment, but it was crisis enough to have her come to where I live, which was several hours away, to have me reestablish them, separate them, kind of deal with slippage. And again, that was during COVID, and there was nobody really open to do hair at that time. So I had to go in there and clean it up. But since then, it's been amazing. Like, her hair is looking really wonderful, and her husband's doing a great job. She's doing a great job on making sure that she's braiding and banding. So I just wanted to take this time because I've gotten tons of messages on give me a status update. So I tell you, you can come closer and let them see your hair, like do a 360 so we can kind of look at it. And I'm gonna look away from the camera because actually look at the way I can actually see her hair, and just kind of talk through it if you guys don't mind. Because look at, oh my gosh, she's gorgeous. But anyway, look at yeah, your hair looks great. Kind of, let's turn around a little bit.
This is kind of what it's looking like.
Okay.
This is my go-to style, by the way. I love this, pushing this part back and showing this.
Like what did you do to get this style?
I just put a bobby pin right here. Make sure because I was definitely big on parts. Not had to be, super, super defined parts, but I do like to have parts to show. So I made sure my little part right here showed. And then I just put a bobby pin back here. This is what the back kind of looks like. I don't know if you guys can kind of see this.
And you guys, this is her natural color. My hair is darker, of course. I dyed some gray, so it's a lot darker. But my hair is darker than hers. Her hair is a natural brown, and I love that color. It looks like it's dyed, but it's her natural tone. Go ahead. And look at her hair. Her husband's doing an amazing job on it. So, and I will tell you, this is actually her awkward phase, if there's such a thing. And her hair looks amazing. You're not going to see curly because she doesn't have that kind of hair texture. What you're going to see is her hair gradually getting thicker and gradually locking with wavy hair. So please like and subscribe. You can also go to their channel. Please like and subscribe and follow. She and her husband are going to talk about locks, travel, marriage kind of, information. So they're going to have, their channel's going to have a whole lot of stuff on it. I pretty much talk about locks and health and fitness on this channel, but I probably will kind of change and do a lot of other things as well. But I always want to give you the information that you're asking for. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm going to do a 360 because I have not done that in a while. So you can kind of look at my hair. And again, I'm 4 years in. Just 4 months in, it's different, but each stage is beautiful. You just have to embrace the stage, even though sometimes it is hard. So if you have any questions that I have not answered, please let me know. But here's my 360. And first of all, we get this Zoom call. It took us 2 hours to get on this call. And I'm going to just talk about that later because, I just don't know how to do it. But anyway, so here's the side. Here's the back. I'm going to let you get that texture shot. Wait a minute. Here's my other side. And here's the front. Again, this is Val with Living Divine. Thank you so much for watching. And that is Octavia with who?
The Walls.
The Walls. Please like and subscribe and go over to her channel and check it out. Like and subscribe, and we'll answer whatever questions you have. Thanks for watching.